What if a community's dream of freedom becomes a government's worst fear? From the mountains of Myanmar to the islands of Mindanao, the word self-determination sparks hope and sparks conflict. But why do governments fear it so much? Welcome back to the Peacebuilding project, where we dissect and analyze conflicts and critical issues through a conflict transformation lens. Today, we dive deep into the double-edged sword of self-determination, its promises, its dangers, and its impact across the world. Before we continue, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. So what is self-determination? Self-determination is the right of a people to determine their own political status and to pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. It's a principle rooted in the UN Charter and international law. But here's the catch: when people's aspirations for self-determination come up against a state's claim to sovereignty and territorial integrity, things get complicated and often dangerous. But why do governments fear it? Governments often fear self-determination for 5 major reasons. 1. It threatens territorial integrity by breaking up the state. 2. It undermines sovereignty by challenging central authority. 3. It sparks conflict, often leading to civil war or unrest. 4. It's legally ambiguous. International law lacks a specific legal definition, often leading to various interpretations and applications. And lastly, it sets a precedent. One autonomy deal can trigger many more. Now let's see how this plays out in actual case studies. West Papua, Indonesia. After being controversially integrated into Indonesia in 1969, West Papua has been pushing for independence ever since. The Indonesian state sees this as a threat to national unity and responds with militarization and tight control. Aceh, Indonesia. For decades, the Free Aceh movement fought for independence. But after the 2004 tsunami, both sides negotiated peace. In 2005, Aceh gained special autonomy, but stayed within Indonesia. This shows that self-determination doesn't have to mean independence. The Bangsamoro, Philippines. In the southern Philippines, the Bangsamoro people achieved autonomy through the 2014 Comprehensive Agreement and the creation of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao in 2019. It's one of the more successful examples of negotiating internal self-determination. Myanmar's ethnic groups. Many ethnic groups in Myanmar, like the Karen, Kachin, and Shan, have fought for autonomy.
Keep in mind, the ethnic armed groups are more focused on achieving autonomy in their own regions.
The military views these demands as threats, leading to decades of conflict. Despite the 2015 nationwide ceasefire agreement, many groups remain excluded, and the 2021 coup has only deepened distrust. Xinjiang and Hong Kong. In Xinjiang, Uyghur claims to cultural and religious autonomy are met with surveillance and repression.
The capacity of state surveillance enabled by high technology across the Uyghur region is extraordinary.
There are thousands of checkpoints, security cameras everywhere. Many use facial recognition.
Similarly, Hong Kong's pro-democracy movements have faced legal crackdowns.
This was the first time tear gas had been fired in Hong Kong since the pro-democracy Occupy protests of 2014.
For the Chinese state, sovereignty always overrides autonomy. The Chittagong Hill Tracts. In southeastern Bangladesh, the Chittagong Hill Tracts are home to indigenous Juma peoples, like the Chakma, Mama, and Tripura, who faced decades of displacement, militarization, and denial of their cultural rights. In 1997, a peace accord was signed, promising regional autonomy and demilitarization. But here's the issue: implementation has largely stalled. Military presence continues, land disputes remain unresolved, and promised powers are undercut. For the government, full autonomy might risk similar demands from other indigenous groups. For the Juma people, this is a case of broken promises and stalled self-determination. These cases show us that self-determination is complex. When it's respected, it can prevent conflict and empower communities. When it's ignored or suppressed, it fuels resistance and violence. Governments fear it because it challenges the status quo. But ignoring it can be far more dangerous. In Negotiating Self-Determination, edited by Hurst Hannam and Eileen Babbitt, we learn that self-determination must be negotiated and not imposed. It's not just about borders. It's about identity, dignity, and autonomy. As scholar Erin Jen puts it, self-determination can be a mobilizing tool, sometimes for peace, sometimes for war. Alan Buchanan argues that secession should only be a remedy of last resort. And Eileen Babbitt stresses the need for inclusive negotiation and long-term trust building. So now I want to hear from you. Should governments embrace autonomy as a solution? How can communities seek dignity without triggering fear? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you know a self-determination struggle that deserves more attention, let us know. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend.